started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
What the fuck is up, gamers? And welcome back to City Girls Make Do. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm a little boy bitch.
I'm your host, Stephanie, and I completely forgot to get a nickname. I'm Jack Berger.
Yes.
There we go. That works.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Matt Berger,
No.
previous guest of the show.
Jack Berger,
Uh-huh.
who is bad.
He's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this happened faster than I was expecting because he is a character who doesn't appear for that long in the show, but is one of those love interests that you remember after watching the series.
Yeah.
And
and I sort of vaguely remembered him being around when Carrie had short hair.
Yeah.
But that was it, really.
Yeah, and I mean, she could have short hair for a while because it's going to take a while to grow back. So who knows?
True.
I was surprised it was this early, but yeah. In this episode, he seems fine. He seems fine right now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But we know things.
We know things. We drink and we know things.
Exactly. And things can change, you know? Like we said, things change all the time.
Yep. They're always changing. Did we say what episode this was yet? I don't think we did.
Well, it's season 5, episode 6?
5.
5? 5. Plus 1 is the loneliest number.
I guess. Not really, but okay.
No. I mean, a plus 1 when you don't have anyone to invite kind of sucks. I guess that's kind of the crux of the episode.
Yeah, basically. It kind of is. But I guess we can just get into it. It's kind of I don't know. I feel like what I said yesterday to you was this felt like one of those Game of Thrones setup episodes where they're placing all the pieces for the rest of the season to happen, and so nothing really interesting seemed to be happening. And I was it feels like a filler episode, but they need this setup for the next few episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think also a lot of stuff happened that I remembered, but it still was a bit fillery. But I remember all this a lot of this stuff happening, so I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, we start off with Sam and Anthony planning Carrie's publishing party, I suppose, her book launch.
Yes.
And they're gonna make it so fabulous. Everyone who's anyone is gonna be there. It's gonna be talked about for years. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, for this book Carrie's voiceover says this comment that's we have a publisher now. And I'm did you not have a publisher the entire time? Because saying you're going to publish a book when you don't have a publisher doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. What, aren't Amy Sedaris and Molly Shannon her publishers?
That's
was that not it?
That's what I thought they were, but I don't know. But either way, I guess everything is set up. This seems incredibly fast, but I guess she didn't have to really write anything, so it's not it should take that long. But
no.
But they do already have a lot of copies of this book printed, which seems wild already. The cover looks nice. The cover of her that they took in the photo shoot at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Carrie in an outfit and then a white background. So I don't think it would really stand out because you wouldn't know who this woman in the universe of the show. We don't know who this woman is.
No, exactly. Well, she is holding a MacBook, so you do know that she could be a writer, maybe. Well, she published a book, so I guess she probably is a writer, but
she could be a gamer.
She could have been a gamer. I don't know. Could you really game much on a Mac back in 2001?
I think you could play The Sims.
Okay, well, that's
the only
good
game that's the only game that's important anyway.
That's the only one that exists. So yeah,
that and Animal Crossing. I'm not playing anything else.
Yeah, well, she could have been up there on Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah, but I don't think Carrie knows how money works, so I feel like she would
she would just do what I do and go into the free play mode and just make nice parks.
That's a good point. She would do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, they're they plan the party and it all seems to be going well. Carrie's very excited. Then we go back to Miranda, who is back at work and very happy to be back at work.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Bob, we have a returning guest.
Yeah, what's this guy's name again? I didn't even write his name down. I'm like, he's just the guy she slept with before Brady.
Walker.
Oh, I hate
Texas
that
Ranger.
name. That's not a name.
No, I don't. It's a surname. It's an adjective. No.
Yeah.
A noun. It's a noun.
It's a noun because it's like what you use to walk when you're like when you have trouble walking.
Yeah, or someone who like walks.
Yeah, or it's like slang for what you'd call like a White Walker, I guess. Why? I feel like I've mentioned Game of Thrones more this episode than I have ever. But
do you know what? I've been thinking a lot about Game of Thrones recently.
Mm-hmm.
I also think like my phone has tapped into my brain because about the day after, I was just having like a pee in the middle of the night, and I remembered the ending of Game of Thrones, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then the day after, YouTube started recommending like Game of Thrones videos to me.
what?
So,
No. Yeah.
I know. I think it's listening to my brain. But yeah, what the fuck was that? Guys?
I don't know.
What
It was
was
bad.
that?
It was bad. Like, in terms
It's
of
bad.
HBO TV shows and how good their finales were, it's definitely worse than Sex and the Cities. But
Worse than The Sopranos, even.
oh yeah, no. I mean, I think it was I haven't seen The Sopranos, but I do know the ending. But like, I'm thinking about like all of the HBO shows in general, and I feel like Game of Thrones probably has like the worst ending out of all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. Jesus, that's grim. But yeah, Walker, I just wrote him down as Bart Bass because that's all I can see him as.
I just kept calling him the guy.
Yeah.
Her guy. Because
He was in season 4, episode 13, The Good Fight. If you guys, for whatever fucking reason, feel like going back and listening to it.
Oh, the Homestuck episode. That was the one, that was the one that Jess was on. Okay, that makes sense. Yes. Okay.
I think so.
So that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, and he just happened to call and be like, hey, you want to fuck again?
This is ridiculous that like a guy will just drop out and like stop calling you and stop talking to you, and then like I think she was pregnant the last time they slept together, but like just barely. So this is like at least 9 months later. He's like, what's good? Let's fuck again. Like,
okay, but like this literally fucking happened to me this week.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Men will just show up and be like, it's not like I ghosted you for months.
Yeah, a guy who full on ghosted me just like happened to message me again and be like, hey, what's up? And I was like, fine. Do you know what? You were kind of hot. Turns out, surprise, people who ghost you are probably dickheads, and he was a bit of a dickhead, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's down for it because, you know, she had a nice time. And
yeah, and I think she hasn't gotten laid in a while, so.
Yeah, she hasn't seen anyone since Brady, so why not?
Yeah. By Hilary Duff voice, why not? She does go for it and takes a crazy chance. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, so she's like, okay, sweet. So they plan to go out for a date.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We start with like pretty succinct scenes, and then we have Charlotte. She's been seeing this guy called Justin, and I realized this just before we started recording. He looks like the protagonist in a Christian film.
Oh my god! To me, I was like, he looks like he's from Hanson, but he's like a trust fund kid. Like, I don't know. And also his name ended with the third, which was awful. I wrote down that he looks disgusting. He's not my type at all.
I think because he's like he's like attractive.
Yeah.
But he just looks extremely clean cut and like probably he's extremely white.
Extremely white. He looks like a male model who was like born from a rich family.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But not like a cool male model like Hansel. Like
No, just like, oh yeah, my dad's rich and my mother was a model, so I'm going to do a bit of modeling and then I'm going to go back to Switzerland for a bit.
Yeah,
like, that's just not cool. Like, it's not cool.
No, it's not. He just looks so boring to me. And Charlotte's like, she seems into it. Like, they're kissing outside her apartment door and like, it's gross. I mean, she's allowed to do it. It's just like, it's gross to me because he's gross. And then her neighbor walks out and is just like extremely judgmental about it. Like, Charlotte says good afternoon and she's like, well, I was having a good afternoon until now.
Yeah, and also they are truly just kissing.
Yeah, they really are. It's not like they're like feeling each other up or anything like that. Like, this is Charlotte. They are just kissing.
Yeah. He's like giving her a kiss goodbye before he leaves, and this woman's like, ugh.
Yeah. And she has her poodle, and she's just like extremely just being a bitch about it. But
yeah,
but I just like this guy that she's with, so I'm like, whatever. I guess you can be judgmental about it. But that's kind of the scene. Charlotte's kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going back into my apartment now. Bye. And then we go to so Carrie and Amy Sedaris are talking about the book event and how Amy Sedaris is like looking to meet a cute guy there.
Yeah, because GQ's coming, so that means straight men.
True. Yeah. And this is where we meet Jack Berger.
Jack Berger. He is another one of Amy's clients.
Yeah, like he's also a writer, and he's in the middle of working on his second book right now, which isn't finished yet, but he's already published, I guess. So
yes, he's written his first book, which I guess he's meant to be like a Nick Hornby type because so Amy Sedaris says that he writes novels for men, comic novels for men, which are like what your books are for women. So like about dating and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's that men can't read, which is extremely valid. I love a bit of self-awareness.
It's very good.
He's like, men don't read novels, T.
He's right, and you should say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Amy Sedaris is just like, oh yeah, you guys should talk, because like he's done the whole book tour and signing and shit, which like you're gonna have to be doing eventually. So, you know, which is kind of funny to me because it's like I feel like you don't normally do a book tour until you're like an established author and like people would actually come out to see you. But like, and
yeah, like it makes sense for Carrie because she's a columnist and like we see that she has a bit of a following. But
yes,
Berger just seems like he's just an author. And it was his first book, so why would he? I don't really know. And why would he do like so much? Why would he do a lot of press for it? It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, my guess is that it like hit the New York Times bestsellers list or something, and then he did a press tour. Like he wouldn't just do one otherwise.
Everything hits the fucking New York Times bestseller list, though.
I mean, a lot of things do, but then there's a lot of authors who just like publish shit and like no one sees it, or like you could write like niche type books, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Carrie has a following, but not outside of New York City.
No, of
maybe
course,
she's just gonna...
she's one of those like city celebs. Like we have them in London. Like there are people who are like, oh yeah, they're in like a writer or just a sort of like it girl or something who's only famous in a city.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I think what's going to happen is Carrie's just going to do a book tour where she goes to every Barnes & Noble in New York City and she just signs books there.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to the Brooklyn one, going to Queens. Like, that will be it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Wow. The travel. Maybe Jersey if she's feeling a bit fruity.
God forbid. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so they go, this is weird. So they get McDonald's and he's throwing his fries at the pigeons.
Bitch, they're not supposed to eat that.
No. And he's being like so miserable. I hate people who are fucking moany.
Yeah, I hate to, yeah.
Like, okay, as a fucking emo goth bitch who's sad all the time, I get it. But like, I hate people who complain about fucking everything.
He's also the kind of guy who you can tell like his life is going really well for him. He's just the kind of guy who loves to just bitch about like he's just like one of those guys who's like, I'm a cynic. And it's
I'm
like
cynical. Oh yeah, you'd be like, oh my you know, I went to a really nice christening the other day, and he'd be like, God isn't real.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay. Dude, chill.
Oh my God, that reminds me of my fucking My friend was talking about how they went to like a lesbian wedding, and they had like an imam, I think, like talk about how God has no gender and referred to Allah as he, she, and they, and it was super cool and it's really nice. And this guy who was there with us, I don't want to call him a friend, he's a friend, whatever, I call everyone a friend, he's a friend, and he's like, God isn't real. Like, okay, dude. Who cares, bro? You're not smarter than anyone for thinking that.
It's like, are you
It's
12?
an opinion.
Like, okay, yeah, that's...
There's just so many... He's like a fucking edgelord, Berger. He's like, oh yeah, I write about love, but...
Yeah, like, I
love
feel like...
is difficult. Men don't read. I'm poor, even though I'm a tortured writer. I can't stand him.
Exactly. I feel like cynical 30-year-old men are like the exact same level of intelligence as I was when I was a 13-year-old cynical girl. Like,
exactly. Because I would have done that shit when I was 13 and been like, yeah, love isn't real. God is dead. We're all gonna die. Like, that was me at 13. How? Yeah. This is why people think men aren't as developed as women, because I've been there. I've done it. I've read Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Berger definitely seems like the kind of guy who read Catcher in the Rye and still thinks it's good at age 30, and not for the John Lennon reason that I say it's good about, but he just thinks it's like good. Yeah. And he also makes fun of Carrie because he's like, who orders a strawberry milkshake over the age of 11? And I'm like, I do, bitch. Like, he is the type to buy fucking black coffee from McDonald's. Yeah, he definitely is the kind of person who would judge you for putting cream or sugar in your coffee, which is like, I normally drink coffee black, but I extremely get why people don't. It's like, yeah, what the fuck?
I think if you're putting an excessive amount in, then I will judge you, but like, yeah, a little bit. Who gives a shit?
That goes for anything. It's like, yeah, I don't understand. He's like, oh, it's got to be bitter like life.
Exactly. God, he's a fucking emo kid. But he's like, and he's aggressively throwing fries at these pigeons, and Carrie's loving it. Carrie's like, yeah, tell me more. Yeah. And he says something like, oh, well, you know, why don't we spend some time together? I need to pick up some dry cleaning. And she's like, yeah, why?
What? Why is that? She even says it's like the ideal first date that can only happen when it's not actually a first date. Like, that's what, like, her voiceover says that. She doesn't say that to him. Yeah. But it's just like she's extremely like into this and having a great time. And he's just like throwing fries at birds. Like,
exactly, and talking about how fucking cynical he is. And yeah, it's very strange. And then going to pick up his dry cleaning.
Yes.
And she's like, okay.
And then he does this thing where he like finds a playing card on the ground, and it's like the 2 of hearts or something, and he picks it up and he's like, he just like collects them like as if like playing cards are things you find on the ground all the time. And what is it? Like, he's missing the jack. He's missing a jack or something like that.
Yeah. He says, I think he said he's missing, well, he picks up the 2 of hearts, which, IMG.
Oh, the 2 of hearts, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, he wants to get a full set. I think he does say he's missing a jack. Yeah. But we see a jack later.
Exactly.
And also, he is Jack.
He is Jack. That's
the
true.
Levels.
Wow.
The levels.
There are multiple levels going on here. These writers are blowing my mind.
I know. The IQ level you need to understand this show. We are dumbing it down for you.
I'm so happy Rick and Morty isn't airing new episodes right now, because I don't think I could process watching both of those in 1 week. I can't believe I just admitted on a podcast to still watching Rick and Morty, but yeah, I don't think my brain could handle it. It would be too much. I'd explode.
Yeah, I think your brain would melt out of your ears. So, yeah, they're walking down the street, and Carrie says, oh, so my book launch, I need a +1, and I'd love if you came. And he says, yeah, I don't think my girlfriend would like that, because her parents are coming to visit us. And it's a bit of a slap in the face for Carrie.
She's just like, welp, okay. You'd think that's the kind of thing that he would have just casually mentioned earlier in the conversation. Just kind of like, don't get, I don't know, like not necessarily like she would have to get feelings for him or anything, but it's just like a normal thing to mention to people when you're first getting to know them. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Especially since he's talking about all these things that he's doing. And Carrie kind of even brings us up at lunch where he brings up all these things and it's not like, our dry cleaning or our apartment. It's like he sets it all very singular. So
yeah, he never says we or us or anything. Mm-hmm. However, I feel like Carrie takes this far too personally.
She does. And it's like, okay, you just met this guy. And like, I get it. You can like get kind of, you can kind of get that immediate feelings and stuff like that. But they go for lunch, like the Carrie and the girls go for lunch. And she says that she tells them about how they sparked and she doesn't normally just spark with people. But since he has a girlfriend, like she just kind of feels like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like, I wish you would have said something sooner and not just like at the end of our conversation. I do love that Sam brings up like when men will say it immediately where you're like, oh, can I sit down next to you? And they're like, oh, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, I do hate that. That is always weird.
It is.
It's like I was asking for the homework, but cool.
Yeah. It's truly wild. Like, I'll go on the defensive sometimes if, like, I think someone's talking to me and being kind of, like, a bit of a creep. But, like, if they're like, can I sit next to you? I'm not gonna say that.
No.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, so that Carrie is talking about how she felt a connection and she thinks he did too. But, like, if he has a girlfriend, that's a bit fucked up and she can't go there.
Yeah, and she also has the thing where she's like, oh, well, maybe they're unhappy. And she's like pondering, like, oh, yeah, maybe they're gonna break up. Like, and Charlotte's like, okay, no, he has a girlfriend, so this is, off limits. And she's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, he just didn't mention it because it genuinely didn't come up in the conversation.
Yeah, which is also normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sam recommends a mani-pedi Botox. Mm-hmm. Because apparently she gets Botox done, surprise. Is anyone shocked?
I'm not. Like, it just seems like normal. She obviously doesn't have like any wrinkles on her face because she's, an actress in a TV show. But also just, it's just not surprising. She has a lot of money and she might as well. So if she wants to. And I guess she's the only one who does, because like she goes to get it done later and no one else comes with her.
Miranda mentions how she didn't tell Walker about the baby.
Yes. I do love that she's like, it's not like he asked. And then she's like, okay, but even if he did ask, like, did you have a baby? I'd be like, or no, what did she say? Like, if he asked, have you had a baby recently? And she's like, define recently.
Yeah. She does not, I get why she doesn't want to tell him, but that's kind of big news.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how serious she thinks about this. Because, like, if it's really just, like, she wants to get laid, there's really not really much of a reason to tell him about it. Like, if she just kind of wants to go out with him and have fun. But if she actually wants to date him, it's probably something that she should tell him sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all like, well, you should probably do that. And she's like, okay, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
So we go to Carrie and she says that, everyone, when you're in New York.
Yeah, when you're in New York.
Yeah, you're always on the hunt for a job, an apartment, or a boyfriend. And I have none. But Carrie has 2 of those things.
She does have 2 of those things. She also has 2 jobs, so.
True.
Yeah.
And, yes, she's very successful. She has a lovely apartment, which she owns, so she can do whatever she likes to it. And, but she's like, but why do I feel so lonely?
Probably because she sucks.
Yeah. Relatable mood, though. But
it is a mood, yeah.
Yeah. It's sadly a mood. However, we get a question.
Yes. It's a it doesn't really make that much sense. It's about like this is the +1 thing. She's like, why does +1 feel like it adds up to 0? Because she's got to bring a +1 to her event, but she can't find anyone because Berger said no. So she could bring a friend, but she doesn't have like anyone to go with. So she feels like even though she's successful with her job and her book and shit,
does she not have any other friends? Because we always see her like with other people. Like she's always like, oh, my friend so and so. She doesn't have any other friends.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But like when the plot needs it, she knows other people.
Yeah, and when it doesn't, she doesn't.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess the thing is she doesn't want to go with a friend. She probably wants to go with like a boyfriend. But like it's kind of
still
dumb.
Like if you're gonna be lonely, like it's better to be lonely with a friend than just completely alone.
Yeah, it's also like an event for her book. So part of me is like, you're going to get to the event and you're going to be socializing with people constantly. Like, it's not like it's an event for where you're just going to a wedding and it's like you want to, you know, have someone else to be with the whole time. So you're not, you know, just sitting at a table by yourself. It's like, you're going to be socializing. You're going to be talking to people. You're going to be really busy. And like, no one's going to notice if you're with someone or not. And if you bring someone, they're just going to be fucking bored the whole time.
Yeah, you can't date someone at your own party. Like, no. If you were having a party, you need to invite people that you already are seeing, you know? It can't be a first date kind of thing. It's weird. But it's the show. It's the show.
Yeah. But okay, Carrie.
Okay, Carrie.
Then we go to Samantha.
So Samantha is at the surgeon's office, and the lady, like the nurse, is like, by the way, Botox might hinder your facial movement, so people won't know if you're making an expression. Like, as if, I don't know. Does she not know that?
Like, I'm surely Samantha knows this. And she even is like, yeah, this is not my first time here. This ain't my first Botox rodeo. I'm, I know what I'm doing. And then the doctor is about to go inject her, and then he's kind of just like, oh, before we start the Botox, like, have you considered getting a chemical peel before? And just out of nowhere. And Samantha's just like, oh, shrimp dressing. That seems like a good proposition immediately that I'm just going to decide to do without thinking about for, longer than a second.
The weird thing is when, like, because she says later that she sat across from women at dinner parties with like the chemical peel burn. And so she knows that it's going to fuck up her face for a couple days, right?
Yeah, like she definitely knows what to expect from it. But she does it anyway, despite the fact that she knows she's got shit to do in the next couple days in public.
Yeah.
But so she gets it done, and so she leaves the doctor's office, and we don't see her face immediately, but like she walks past a child who screams when she sees her face.
Yeah. The funny thing about so like obviously you can Google what chemical peels do to your face. They do make it like red and irritated, but her one is it just looks like a face mask, like a face mask, as in like when you put like a peel away face mask on. It's just clearly they just put a bit of like red tint on her face.
Yeah, it kind of looks like she just has a really bad sunburn on her face.
Yeah, and everyone is screaming in horror as if she looks like she's had 3rd-degree burns, you know?
Yes, essentially.
As if she's had some like horrific injury. And everyone's screaming in horror at someone with a facial disfigurement. It's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, like I guess a kid doing it, they don't know better. But other people are like adults.
The adults at the party is really weird because it's like, this is just someone, she just has a red face and you're screaming.
Yeah, it's a lot. They say some kind of like, even Carrie especially says some things where I'm like, holy shit, chill.
Yeah, she's horrible. So yeah, it was a real dumb move on Samantha's part. I don't know why this doctor recommended it at all.
I don't either. I don't really know what a chemical peel is supposed to do for your face, but
like it exfoliates it basically.
Okay.
So it will, I think it does remove like a layer. So obviously you need to be inside because the sunlight will fucking damage your skin. So I weirdly remember this. Like, there was a show called 10 Years Younger, and they would always give them fucking chemical peels. But you need to actually stay inside because you can't get any sun damage on your face.
Yeah, that sounds like it would have hurt a lot.
Yeah, it does. But then once it heals in like a week, I think.
Okay, that's not bad.
So yeah, you can't but it's like the same stuff they put in like anti-aging serums, just like boosted up.
Ugh. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think it's fine, but it's not something you want to do if you have actual things to do the next week.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, so after that we go to Carrie just at lunch out by herself for some reason. And in walks her editor at Vogue, Enid. So Carrie like hides behind her magazine.
She does, and like she pretends not to see, but then she also at the same time like looks up from the magazine to see if she's still there, and like makes eye contact by accident. So
obviously Enid is like, "Hi, Carrie," and Carrie, who obviously didn't want to see her, then invites her to stay for lunch and eat lunch with her.
Yeah, I don't know why. You could have just been like, "Oh, hey, nice to run into you, blah, blah, blah. Have a nice lunch. Okay, bye."
Yeah.
But no.
No. It's just do the opposite of that. Self-sabotage, I suppose. So she invites her for lunch, and Enid just kind of accepts, like, sure. Begrudgingly. Because she doesn't like Carrie. Like, they professionally are fine, but there's no friendship there. Yeah,
it's like you can't really just say no either unless you're like, oh, I've got stuff to work on at the table by myself. Like, you can't really just be like, no, I don't want to have a lunch with you. So you kind of have to sit down with them. But yeah.
It's very strange. It's weird. But then, so she sits down and they apparently exhaust all their talk about Vogue quite quickly.
Yeah.
So Carrie then starts asking, you know, why she's there. And Enid says that she has a man who lives locally. And she was seeing him. Carrie gets her to divulge a bit more information. And apparently, like, she's I don't know. Well, she describes it as she doesn't have a full-time man. But, like, he's seeing other people. She is kind of... It's pretty open.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm so busy with my work, like, I don't have time to really fully be dating someone. So, like, I'm on this side of town, his other girlfriend or whatever is on the other side of town, so the park is kind of like a buffer between the two of us.
Yeah. That sounds fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly healthy.
Yeah, she's basically just like, you know, if my career is my focus. And so, like, eventually I realized that I wasn't going to end up with, like, the kind of romantic life that I expected to. And that's just how it is. And,
Yeah, cool. And Carrie's like, oh, you know, it's just that little voice.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm so, like, I keep forgetting how much of, because it feels like a very 2000s thing and like 90s thing of quote unquote can a woman really have it all?
It really is. It really, really is.
Yeah. Like, oh, can you have a career and a love life? Can you have a career and a family?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Okay, next question.
Yes, absolutely. Like, fuck off. I hate, But then we go to the next scene where we get a titty tally.
We do.
From Charlotte.
It's just a little side titty. It's just a little
titty silhouette, kind of. And
artistic titty.
It is. And she's sleeping with the guy from earlier, whatever the third, and she's having a good time. I think this is the first time she slept with anyone since Trey, right?
Yeah. So it's a big deal for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she has a good time. He stays in the morning and she orders breakfast for the two of them. It's very cute.
And then we just get a nice little bunny. She just
bunny
unlocks the fucking door out of nowhere. She's got the key still. Just unlocks the door, lets herself the fuck in without knocking. Like, what the fuck?
So Charlotte goes over and she's like, hi Bunny, what the fuck are you doing here? Why do you have a key? And Bunny says, oh, hi Charlotte, since you're still married to Trey, this apartment isn't yours in the McDougal family name, not the York name, and all the other old ladies have been seeing you fucking.
Yeah, like, oh, they saw you go in with this man and he still hasn't left yet. So he must have stayed the night. And she seems to really care about this. And Charlotte's like, why the fuck are you spying on me?
Yeah.
And she's basically like, Bunny is like, look, this wasn't Trey's apartment to give you, because, like, even though he was living here, he's not the one who owns it. I am. So, while you're living here, it's, you know, not your rules, which is fucking ridiculous.
It's bonkers. I mean, like, if she has a problem with this, maybe talk to Trey about filing divorce papers.
Yeah, it's wild. Absolutely wild. And Charlotte's basically like just shutting her down, being like, get the fuck out of my apartment. Like, you can't just come in here. And then like the guy who she was sleeping with comes out and he's like just in his underwear, and
he's
like,
just
yeah,
he's like, you're married? Because Bunny mentions it.
Yeah.
And Charlotte's like, yeah, I'm separated.
Yeah. Bunny's just like, aren't you missing your trousers?
Your trousers?
Yeah.
Who says trousers apart from me?
Not many Americans. Although I guess she's Scottish.
Scottish?
So, yeah, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
So, but she's not even, like, their family is Scottish heritage. She's not Scottish. She doesn't have a Scottish accent. So
no, but this is the thing though. This is weird. So Scottish people who are like really posh and Scottish don't have Scottish accents.
Interesting.
Because you know Egret, whatever the fuck her name is, Rose Leslie.
Yeah.
Her dad owns like a fucking castle in Scotland, and if you hear her speak, she just has an RP accent. It just sounds English.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
So it's like people who are very, very rich and Scottish, just English. It's bugged up.
That is really weird. Yeah. Huh. But
yeah, the UK's bad. It's a bad place. I don't like it. So after that, well, we find out she phones Carrie, and we find out that she changed the locks. Love that.
Yeah. She should have done that a long time ago.
I mean, I guess you would think that she would hand in a fucking key.
You'd think. I mean, Trey probably gave her his key, and then she probably was like, oh, well, he was the only one with a key, so I don't have to worry about it. But, like,
yeah,
you'd think Trey even would have been like, oh, yeah, like, my mom definitely has a key. I'll make sure that we get rid of that one, too, or give it to you. But no.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a bit off, but then Carrie gets a call from Stanford, so she speaks to him, and he's very excited when he finds out that Anthony is now going with Charlotte because obviously Justin has run for the hills.
Yes. It's a very good. I do love that Stanford's like, oh, that boy bitch Anthony is going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, I hate, like, he is so excited to rub this all in his face that he, like, Stanford has a sexy boyfriend now.
Yeah, and
so clearly something happened between them.
Well, there was that one time when Charlotte tried to like set them up together, and Anthony was basically just like, "Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm not gonna just date Stanford because you took your two gay friends and decided to put them together. Like, no, he's not my type. I refuse." And Stanford was like obviously hurt by it because like Anthony was kind of a bitch at him about it. But like, yeah, so I don't blame Stanford. He's like, okay, I'm going to come and have a really good time. And I'm going to bring fucking Marcus or whatever the fuck his name is. And Anthony's going to be jealous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Samantha calls and she's saying, yeah, Carrie, so I had some work done at the plastic surgeons and I don't really want to come out. And then Carrie's like, oh, but you'll be the only person there I know, and you're my +1. When fucking Charlotte and Stanford are both coming.
And Miranda's going too. Like, they're all going.
Yeah. There's going to be plenty of people there that she knows. What's going on? Like, I get that because she's the PR person, but presumably she has an assistant or someone who can take over for her.
Yeah, you'd think so. Like, something that could happen. But, like, I guess it's also because all the other people are going, like, with someone else. Because, like, Charlotte's going with Anthony. And, like, Stanford's going with Marcus. And Miranda's going with Walker. So she's, like, wants to go with someone who's not already going with another person. But...
Yeah, but still, it's, you know...
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
No.
But, yeah, so Samantha agrees because she's a good friend.
Mm-hmm. Even though she looks like she's in pain. Like,
she is in pain. She's in misery. Mm-hmm. But she still agrees to come.
Yeah.
Good friend.
We go to the party. And it's a big fucking party. Like, this is a nice event.
It is. It's a nice fucking place. It's all glam. Mm-hmm. We do get some cameos. I believe the woman smoking at the bar is Patricia Field, who does the costuming for the show.
Oh, cool. Neat.
And Isaac Mizrahi, he shows up for like a hot second.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But all I know him now is from the Bloomberg Twitter video.
Oh, God, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's bad. He's like,
I bet.
Oh, Bloomberg did so much for the gays in New York City. And then everyone being like, but no, he didn't.
He really didn't, is the thing.
He really did not. He raided at least one bar a fucking year. Like, that, no.
Yeah, no, he's a piece of shit. So, yeah, I literally unfollowed someone on Facebook that I've been friends with for like 10 years that I met a long time ago, because he was like working for the California like Mike Bloomberg fucking party campaign. And I was like, yeah, no, bye. So yeah, fuck that. Fuck him. So
fuck Bloomberg. This is a Bernie show.
This is
Hot girls for Bernie.
This is a fucking Bernie show. There's a primary today, so I'm obligated to say Bernard, even though I'm not American. So Bernard, he's running.
Bernard.
So, yeah. Matt just yelled from the bedroom. He's running. So, and he is running.
He do be running though,
which is impressive. Yeah.
So Samantha is wearing a veil, like a fucking like beekeeper massive hat with a black veil over the top. She looks amazing.
It's so dramatic. I love this look. I think it's extremely good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Carrie's like, oh, honey, take that off. This guy. So it's like this guy from the New Yorker. This old fucking man from the New Yorker is like, Carrie, I've been following your career. Like, and she's like, it is old as fuck.
There's no way that someone pretentious enough to write for the New Yorker is reading Carrie's column sincerely. Like,
yeah.
There's no way.
No. So yeah, Carrie's like, oh, this guy is here. Sam, introduce yourself. Take that silly thing off your face. And then she does. She removes her veil. And he, like, screams as if he's seen Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's so weird.
It's such a reaction. And Carrie's like, okay, you can put it back on. Which is like, and Samantha's like, no, I'm just gonna leave it off. Like, I'm here. I showed up. Like, I'm gonna just leave this off. If people have a problem with it, then that's their problem.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, this is real. Women get this done. People get surgery. I shouldn't be ashamed of it. And Carrie's like, yeah, but you look awful. Can you not do it at my party? It's my party. I don't want you here. Like, fucking calm down.
Literally, like, one scene after Samantha was like, I don't think I'm going to come to your party, and because I just had a chemical peel, and Carrie was like, come to my party or I'll kill you. And she holds a gun to her head. And then she's like, don't be at my party. Why are you here? Why do you look like this? Like, what are you expecting? I don't understand.
It's so mean.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And it's mean. And then Stanford and Marcus see her, and Marcus is like, when I had my nose job done, I stayed in for a month. Which is like, what? That's so mean.
Yeah. And Carrie's still like, okay, ew.
Yeah, and Samantha's like, okay, rude, but she doesn't really say anything. And then we get a scene where Anthony finally sees Stanford and Marcus together, and he's like extremely surprised about it and kind of like overwhelmed about it and like just storms off.
Yeah.
And when he storms off, Stanford's like, he has a big penis.
And we're gonna move to the Hamptons together.
Yeah.
Like, they've been dating for 4 months. It's very strange.
When you're gay, you're gay.
When you're gay, you are gay.
Yeah, I get it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Then we see Miranda is making out with Walker, and he wants to go somewhere quieter, like her apartment.
Yeah.
And Miranda has to be like, yeah, so, funny story. My apartment isn't very quiet.
Yeah, she's like, so I had a baby.
And he shits himself because he thinks it's his, because she was pregnant she was only a couple months pregnant, so the time difference is that she could have had a baby in the meantime.
Oh, exactly. And he also is like, I'm not good with kids. And she's like, yeah, me neither. It's fine. Let's just, like, if this is about me and you, let's just go and have sex and it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So we cut to her apartment and they're just having sex on the couch. And this scene did kill me a little bit.
Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Mm-hmm. They're like just going at it on the couch, and then Miranda like sits on a squeaky toy thing and just has to throw it to the side, and then Brady starts crying and Miranda's like, "Mommy's coming."
Yeah.
I just wanted to die.
I hate it. Oh, also he's a baby, so he's not gonna like know that.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, okay, I don't think I can do this, and Miranda's like, can I just get off first before we stop?
Yeah, he's like, can I come first? And I don't think she does.
I don't know, but he's like, okay, it's fine. And then we don't see the end of their sex, but we then later see Miranda eventually going to pick up Brady after they've finished everything. And the second she gets there, he immediately stops crying.
Yeah. And she looks at him and she has a moment. She's like, oh, you are kind of cute.
Yeah. And she's like, she holds him. And it's a really sweet moment when she holds him, because it's like, she loves him a lot, and it's nice.
It is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So afterwards we go back to the party, and this is where Isaac Mizrahi is. Carrie's swanning about. She gets a little bit of cake and she's like, I can have my cake and eat it too. Do you get it?
I get it.
Okay, cool.
I think I get it.
As long as you get it, I don't want you to be lost.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't want to either.
And then she sees from across the room, she sees that Berger's there. I thought it was going to be big, considering how dramatic the music got.
Yes, she was like, I saw him, and I was like, fucking Christ, not already. But no, it was Berger, it wasn't him. So
yeah,
Berger
and she goes down to meet him, and he's like, oh hey, I just thought I'd stop by and see how it's going.
Yeah, say congrats, good luck with your book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all nice, and it is him being nice, but Carrie's like, and she goes back to, he leaves, and then she goes back to Charlotte and Samantha, and they're like, well, he clearly fancies you because he wouldn't be here if he didn't.
True. I didn't even know Samantha was in this scene until she pulled her veil back. Carrie started talking to Charlotte, and I didn't see Samantha there, and then she just flips her veil back, and I'm like, oh, she's there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, they're kind of like, he's cute and he probably likes you. And then Samantha's like, okay, do you mind if I just go home now? Because, I've been here for a bit and I kind of just feel like shit. I want to go home. And Carrie's like, I thought you'd never ask, which is just, again, very rude.
Yeah.
And then Samantha makes a really good point, which is like, honey, I wouldn't have come out like this for anyone but you.
It's so cute.
Right? Like, she only came out looking like this for Carrie, not because she was like, I want everyone to see me looking like this. So, yeah. But yeah, then Carrie and Charlotte kind of just talk for a bit, and Charlotte mentions that the whole separation thing with Trey, she knows that they should just be getting divorced, but divorce is just such a icky word for her that she doesn't want to be divorced. Which makes sense, but they've been separated for a while now, so they probably should just pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? And move on, be happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then before we leave the party, we see Enid one more time.
Yeah, we see her. She like runs over. She says, "You didn't tell me you invited Cliff," and apparently Cliff is the guy she's been seeing, and he's there with his other thing. That sounds so mean. I was gonna say like side piece, but they're both side pieces. His girl, whatever, his lady friend, because it's her part of town.
Yeah, right. Because it's like whatever side of the park they're on.
Yeah, who knows? I don't understand. So yeah, and Enid loses her cool and is like running around the fucking party, hiding behind a guy.
Yeah, Matt was like, she just slinked away like Looker does when Looker is like afraid of someone and just like is like makes himself as small as possible and then runs off to hide. Yeah,
it's very cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we get the last part of the episode, which is Carrie going and leaving the party. I thought this was cute.
This is so weird, though, because this woman is, like, so enthusiastic.
Yeah, okay. I if I was Carrie, I would have been like, please take me home. Please just take me home. Please just take me home. But, like, within the context of the story and, like, Carrie enjoyed it, so it was fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But she gets a ride home from this, like, hot driver who's like, what was the party for? And Carrie's like, oh, well, it was for me. I wrote a book. And the driver's just like, well, where can I take you?
Yeah.
Carrie is originally like, oh, yeah, like, you know, I live at 73rd and blah, blah, blah. And the woman's like, no, we have to celebrate. Like, we're going to go out. And
yeah, she's like, let's go out. And then they just go to get hot dogs.
Right. I was like, okay, so she wants to go out and celebrate. So I was like, okay, they're going to go out for like cocktails. She takes her to like a shitty fast food place to get for like fucking hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's good, but like they go there and the guy's just like the driver lady is just like, oh yeah, Carrie, this woman I'm with, she's publishing a book. And the guy's like, well, in that case, the hot dog's on the house.
Well, I mean, they were 75 cents, so,
like, I guess so.
Big money, but he sounded so sarcastic. He's like, wow, in that case, they're on the house.
That's true. He did sound very sarcastic. Just the whole thing was very much like, why is... Literally the only reason they went out for hot dogs instead of going out for, like, a cocktail is so that Carrie's voiceover could make the joke that's like, oh, well, I passed over a burger for the other option of a hot dog.
Yeah.
Which is like, do you get it? And this is where she...
Do you get it?
I don't know if I do anymore. And this is where she steps over the Jack playing card on the ground and doesn't pick it up. There are way more playing cards on the ground in New York than I ever thought there would ever be anywhere, apparently, according to this episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's poetic. It's art. It's cinema.
Yep, she takes her non-burger and steps over this Jack. So this is
hearts.
Yeah.
I will say, I remember that you do actually find a lot of playing cards on the ground, or you used to, because I remember I had a couple playing cards I found on the ground after I watched this episode, and one of them was from Barcelona, so that's very, extravagant, I suppose.
I found like a couple playing cards before, but definitely not like
not enough to get a deck.
No, and why would you want to? They're probably disgusting. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't know. But that's the episode. So we've set up some stuff for coming up, like the divorce. Next week we get a very important new character coming in that I'm very excited about.
Our king.
And then Berger is, entering the story. And I guess that's pretty much it. Those are the two setups. But they're both things that, like, are pretty important for season 5. And season 5 is very short, so we're almost finished season 5.
Yeah, it's like 8 episodes, so we're really nearly done.
Yeah. But season 6 is, like, a pretty normal length season, I think. So
yeah.
But I guess we would move on to questions, but we don't have any questions this week. So, but I mean, if you want to send us questions, send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask, and we would be happy to answer them.
Yeah.
But since we don't have any of those this week, I guess I'll just move to Patreon. So if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that. You can go to patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo, and you can donate to us. So if you give us $1 a month, you can be a haymower, and you can get a special Discord role. You can get access to any bonus content we do. So we now have 2 episodes of the Keanu podcast out. This week we put out Something's Gotta Give, which I think melted both of our brains.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, so listen to that if you really want to hear us just go absolutely feral. And then you also get access to the super secret Discord channel of Looker and Nanu pics. So it's popping in there because there's lots of good pics of them. And I gotta put them somewhere. So you could also give us $5 a month, and you could get access to everything from the $1 tier and a very special Discord server role. Shout on the podcast every week, and you can submit stuff for Steve Voice. And then if you give us $10 a month, you get all of that and more. You get all of that, plus you can get an even specialer Discord role of Mr. Big Spender. Plus you get to listen to us record live every week, which our $10 donor is doing right now. Shout out to Alex Schaup for listening live right now. We stan. I'm so excited that we have a listener right now.
Me too.
Right? So our patron list. So if you give us $5 or more a month, we'll read your name. So shout out to Alex Schaup, our listener. And then shout out to all our $5 donors. Alex, I just read your name a second time. I guess I read your name twice because you're double the amount of everyone else. Jennifer Snyder, Matt Rivero, Jess Ayalachi, Summer Geist, Mike Dawson Silva, PR the Disaster, and Siberian Pine Hardwood. So thank you all so much. We love to see it. We love it. And
thank you
so much. That's pretty much it. That's podcast. So if you want to follow us on Twitter or Tumblr, we're City Girls Make Do on both those places. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Tumblr, I'm Age of Oddish on Twitter and Windfall Island on Tumblr.
And yeah, if you want to follow me on Tumblr, I'm Dork Phoenix. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm Alex the Virgo.
Fuck yeah, you are. Yeah. So thanks for listening, gamers. Can't wait for next week. Cannot wait for Harry.
No,
we're there. We're at Harry. I'm excited. I feel like we just got Trey. I feel like we just entered Trey, and we were so excited about it.
Ooh.
And now we're entering Harry.
Men get pegged.
Yeah. Fuck, dude, they sure do.
They sure fucking do. And then after Harry, we'll be getting Smith.
True.
And then we have like our holy. I mean, it's just 2. It's just 2 that I actually like. Them 2.
Yeah, it's true.
I
like them.
Good boys.
I think Harry definitely gets pegged. Like, I think
100%.
He definitely does. And yeah, respect.
I would say I could see Smith getting pegged.
Yeah, I could too. And I definitely feel like Samantha would be more into that than Charlotte would be. So like, yeah. But yeah, some good shit coming up because we got posted episode coming up soon, so I'm excited for that one. Be cryptic about that for now, but that I can't wait for that one. I'm so excited about finishing season 5. So
me too. All right, well, thank you guys for listening. You know who it be, you know who it is. We love you very much, and fuck cops.
Fuck cops. So long, good night. Mohe every day, and. I feel like there's something else we say.
I mean, I did say kiss Keanu square on the lips last, like on the Keanu podcast. So that's a new one. Kiss Keanu square on the lips.
Yeah. Bye, gamers.
Bye-bye.